I know it's hard, I know it's complicated, but I promised you've been waiting here forever. I had a much to say, but you're not here with me, no. We're invincible, like fire in the snow. Trust me when I say you are my beautiful world, and I'm feeling it all, we should make an effort. It's true you're so far away, and it's true you don't feel the same. But if you take my hand, we can try and go back, starting from scratch. I won't let you go, no I can't let you go, 'cause you're my gravity, and I will never leave. I won't let you go, no baby I will not, because I still believe. You're my gravity. You will never be what I expected. Different frequencies, that's why we ain't connected. You know I will make it through, I got nothing to lose but you. It's true you're so far away, and it's true I can feel the same. It's another day, you know you want me to stay, but I go my way. I won't let you go, no I can't let you go, 'cause you're my gravity, and I will never leave. I won't let you go, no baby I will not, because I still believe. You're my gravity. You're my gravity. You're calling out my name, but the echo numbs your pain. Sorry, but more than just a shadow, I'm more than just a man. You don't care how I feel, you don't know how I feel. No, you don't know how. I wash away the sorrow till my heart can beat again. You're my gravity. No, you're my gravity. I will let you go, the only thing that I know. You were my gravity, but now I have to leave. I will let you go. Why do you feel that I want? What do you think that I want? I know how to breathe into my gravity, into my gravity, into my gravity, into my gravity, into my gravity. I know it's hard, I know it's complicated, but I promised you've been waiting here forever. I had a much to say, but you're not here with me, no. We're invincible, like fire in the snow. Trust me when I say you are my beautiful world, and I'm feeling it all, we should make an effort. It's true you're so far away, and it's true you don't feel the same. But if you take my hand, we can try and go back, starting from scratch. I won't let you go, no I can't let you go, 'cause you're my gravity, and I will never leave. I won't let you go, no baby I will not.
Warning. The Duracell Cup Series data file you have attempted to access is out of date. Uploading current file now.
It's a brand new car from stem to stern, and it's never been raced at these speeds.
The next gen car is opportunity.
Everything is different with the exception of like the seat, the steering wheel, and your helmet.
Unknown creates excitement.
Talking about my generation.
For the first time ever, the NNSCRA Duracell Next Gen Cup Series has its pre-season thunder at the hallowed stadium grounds of the LA Coliseum as it plays host to the Season 8 Clash at the Coliseum. On the verge of heading to Daytona for the Great American Race Daytona 500, but it's exhibition race time. We've ended up holding the Clash at now 4 different venues during the tenure of the Next Gen Cup Series, and this is yet the next chapter in said storybook. Good evening, everybody. I'm Seth Cole. Welcome here to the qualifying heats in preparation to find out who will be the 20 drivers later on tonight that will take part in our Clash at the LA Coliseum. Yesterday, we ended up having the qualifying heats qualifiers, if you will, that set the lineup for our 4 respective heat races here tonight. 11 drivers will take part in each one of our 4 heat races. The top 5 finishers will go on to make up a part of the starting lineup for the Clash later on tonight. 45 laps of racing in each one of these heats. Going to be a little under half the distance of what they'll experience for those drivers that are fortunate enough to move on to the Clash. And we talked about this yesterday during the practice and qualifying sessions, how track position was going to be very important. Those that qualified up towards the front of the field, specifically the front row, had a much better chance of holding on to those positions, since passing tonight probably in both the heat races and the upcoming Clash are going to be very, very difficult. On the pole position for our first heat race tonight is going to be Benjamin Miles, and alongside of him is Jessica Shelton. Talk about a tale of 2 different seasons. Benjamin Miles struggled last year, one of 2 drivers that in a total of 35 starts couldn't even buy a top 5 finish. Looking to get Season 8 started off on the right note. For Jessica Shelton, it was a career year. 3 trips to victory lane. It all kicked off with the fuel strategy win at Chicago. She went on to win another race to lock herself into the playoffs via a wild card spot, and then to cap it all off, not only won the championship, but did it in style, winning the season finale at Michigan, extending S3 Motorsports' stranglehold on the championship to 3 straight seasons, going all the way back to Kyle Matthews in Season 5, Sanford in Season 6, and Shelton, obviously, the defending champion from Season 7. These 2 hoping that the good starting track position will put them in good stead to be able to make their way into the Clash later on tonight. Let's go down trackside, get those most famous words in motorsports, because we're ready to go heat racing here at the LA Coliseum.
Drivers, start your engine!
Go out there and have a good time today. Make it happen at the end, my friend. Big thumbs up here. You're ready to rock and roll. Good luck to you guys on pit road down there today.
As you take a look at this racetrack getting ready to go green, Pace Truck hits pit road. 45 laps here in the first heat race. You saw your starting lineup, the 11 drivers participating in this first heat. Top 5 move on to run in the Clash later on tonight. And the green flag is waving. We're racing in the Coliseum. And already looking 3 wide for second. That was Quentin Moore on his teammate James Qualls and Jessica Shelton as Miles is going to scamper away with the lead. Now Qualls going to move into the second position. Shelton trying to get down to the bottom after starting on the outside of the front row. She's going to lose third to Quentin Moore. Now under fire from Chris Dollerton for fourth. Now back into fifth she falls, the final transfer spot. Here comes Andrew Miller in the 75 looking for that position. Starting on the outside of the front row did not work out well for Jessica Shelton. She is all the way back out of a transfer spot already, falling back to around the 7th, 8th spot. Here's the battle for fourth. Little slip up there. Little maybe front brake lock up by Andrew Miller. Rookie Eric Sadler gonna move to the inside. Those two will take it down into turn 3. And Sadler looks like he might get the momentum off of 4 and clear for the position. He will. Now Andrew Miller gonna tuck down right in front of Eric Monaco, who overshot the entrance to turn 1. Monaco right now is the first driver out. Andrew Miller holding down the 5th and final transfer position. Actually, correction on that. Andrew Miller is on the outside looking in. Eric Sadler took the 5th spot away from Andrew Miller. Michael Norman, one of, I believe, 4 former Clash winners. That is correct. 4 former Clash winners that are trying to advance their way into the exhibition race here this season. Norman was the winner of the Clash back in Season 2, back when we were at Daytona. The Clash has been run now, after the green flag was taken tonight, at 4 different venues. Seasons 1 through 4 we were at Daytona. We didn't have a Clash in Season 5. Season 6 we were at Bowman Gray, and last season we were at the short track of Slinger. Some of the other defending Clash winners that we'll see in upcoming heat races include the inaugural Clash winner all the way back from Season 1, Matt McIntyre, and the 2 most recent Clash winners, Kyle Matthews from Season 6 and Nick Gunther, the defending Clash winner. We're looking at this battle for second place starting to close up. These are teammates out of Joanna Atwood Motorsports, Qualls in the 70, Quentin Moore in the 89. Not certain how much they want to battle amongst themselves because they're both in really good positions right now to be able to transfer. Benjamin Miles continuing to show the way, and I'm not certain. We're about to be 15 laps into this race, and yeah, Jessica Shelton is heading into the exit of turn 4 as Miles was entering into turn 3. We could end up having traffic come into play here for our front runners. Shelton fell from 2nd all the way back to 11th, which is currently last in the running order. And she's going to have to scramble to get back up there into a transfer spot. Kyler Sustre back here as well in the 4. In his first full-time chartered season with Haas Racing. Season 4 champion Carson Gum also back here, currently outside of a transfer spot. And we already documented about Michael Norman. There's Eric Monaco, the defending Light Series champion. Right now he is in P7 trying to close up on Andrew Miller. Both of them are trying to catch Eric Sadler for the final transfer position. So the good news in all of this, if it's considered good news, is if you fail to make the Clash, it's not going to hurt you in terms of playoffs or championship. This is an exhibition race. It's an opportunity for drivers to be able to go out there, get acclimated to their new cars, new teams, new teammates, whatever the case may be. Just have some fun here at the LA Coliseum. Maybe carry some good momentum into Daytona 500 qualifying weekend next week. But this doesn't have really any bearing on the remainder of the season. As we look at Chris Dollerton, one of the multiple drivers that'll be behind the wheel of the number 82 out of Blue Oval Automotive this season. Dollerton, former champion Jordan Lopez, former Daytona 500 winner Trey Wright, and currently the driver with the most all-time wins in Duracell Cup Series competition, Jose Mills, all slated to make starts in that number 82 car during the course of this season. But Dollerton doing the driving duties tonight and right now in a transfer position. Checking up here on Benjamin Miles is about maybe half a straightaway. That's not much when you consider the short track of LA Coliseum between himself and Jessica Shelton. And as I'm looking at the lap times here, it looks like James Qualls is running even, if not just maybe a tick quicker than Benjamin Miles. So if Miles gets held up by the 94, James Qualls could have a shot at maybe picking up the victory here in this heat. And much like we ended up having yesterday with the qualifying session in determining the starting lineup for these heat races, the top 5 finishers, where they finish is going to determine where they start in the lineup for the upcoming Clash. Here being the benefit of this being the first heat race, whoever ends up winning this heat race will start on the pole for the Clash later on tonight. Second place would end up starting in 5th, third place would start 9th, fourth would start 13th, and 5th would start 18th. I think I said that right. No, 4th would start, or 5th would start 17th. My apologies on that. More than halfway here through this qualifying heat. Benjamin Miles continues to show the way. Let's give you a look at what's around the turn presented by NNSCRA Paint Designs. Of course, later on this evening at 7 p.m., after we've gotten all these qualifying heats squared away and know who is going to be taking part, they've got the Clash at the Coliseum. And then next week, we pack it up, head from the West Coast to the East Coast. We'll be in Daytona Beach, Florida, as we get ready for Daytona 500 weekend. Actually, the graphic there should say for Saturday, August 17th at 2, that should actually say Daytona qualifying for the Duracell Light Series drivers. Bit of a error in our graphical department. And then Daytona qualifying for the Cup Series at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time next Saturday afternoon. Let's drop back to the 5th position, see if anything is brewing. Andrew Miller, deep dive there into turn 3 to try to close up the gap between himself and the rookie Eric Sadler. And then a little bit of a brake lock up there for Miller going into 1. Eric Monaco starting to close in on both the 12 and the 75, but he's only going to have about 10 laps left to work with. As all Eric Sadler's doing right now is just trying to hit his marks. Don't do anything crazy. With Shelton dropping all the way back here to last and in danger of maybe finishing this heat a lap down, you got to wonder about other drivers that managed to qualify on the outside of the front row in the upcoming 3 heats. Whether or not they're going to be able to maintain their track position, or will they get freight trained to the back of the pack as well. Maybe Shelton just didn't have a good race car here tonight, as Miles way up the track there as he got hard on the brakes behind Jessica Shelton. That could open up an opportunity for James Qualls here with less than 10 to go. But it will be interesting to see if this is going to be a running trend with our other 3 heat races of the pole sitter getting the advantage, but the driver on the outside of the front row drifting out of a transfer position within the first couple laps. Impressive run for Quentin Moore there. Might be just riding behind his teammate James Qualls, letting him kind of teach him how to get around this racetrack. Of course, Quentin Moore, a former Duracell Cup Series winner back at Dover, so he knows how to get around the short tracks, but I think there's not much comparison between Dover and the LA Coliseum. Track surface, banking, everything is different. Top 5 have not changed. Miles, Qualls, Moore, Dollerton, and Sadler all in position to move on to the main event later on tonight. Benjamin Miles continues to tick away laps. 3 to go, that time by at the stripe. It doesn't seem like he's in any hurry to put Jessica Shelton a lap down. I think he's kind of in ride mode right here. Qualls is continuing to close in, but I don't think he's going to have enough laps. He'll probably get there, but I don't think he'll have enough time to make a move. He's bringing Quentin Moore along with him, as the white flag is going to be displayed this time for Benjamin Miles. About 2 car lengths back to James Qualls. It's going to be a coast-to-coast for Benjamin Miles. Started on the pole, leads all 45 laps, and will pick up the victory here in the first heat race. He'll transfer into the main event as the pole sitter for the Clash. James Qualls will get second, Quentin Moore third, Chris Dollerton fourth, and the rookie Eric Sadler will nab the 5th and final transfer position. So Andrew Miller on back, as we'll show you the finishing results here from this first heat race, will not be moving on to the main event. They may pack up early and start heading for Daytona. Eric Monaco, Michael Norman, Carson Gum, Kyler Sustre, and Jessica Schulten. Some big ones there in Norman, a former Clash winner. He will not be able to try to become the first multi-time Clash winner. And Jessica Schulten, of course, as we mentioned, with all the momentum of the championship last season, not transferring here into the main event for the Clash at the LA Coliseum. But again, like I said, it's not a points-paying race. There's no playoffs, no championship hanging in the balance. So it's not, I don't think, as terrible a situation as it would be if we were in a scenario of a must-win to get into the playoffs or a must-win to win the championship later on this season. Congratulations to the 5 that transferred into the main event. We still got another 15 drivers to determine. We got our second heat coming up right after this. Keep it here on NNSCRA TV. Thank you for tuning in to today's broadcast on NNSCRA TV. If you enjoyed your watching, it would help us out a lot if you'd hit that like button. Also, if you're not already, be sure to subscribe to become a part of the NNSCRA crew today. And if you're on your phone, be sure to click that bell to be notified whenever we have a broadcast here on NNSCRA TV. Once again, we thank you for your support, and we hope you continue to enjoy today's broadcast.
Gentlemen, start your engines!
Keep an eye on your temps for this first segment. We shouldn't really be in danger of overheating, but it will, probably get up to about 220, so just keep an eye on that.
We welcome you back here, the qualifying heats for later on tonight's Clash at the LA Coliseum. Heat number 2 about ready to be run with Levi McIntyre starting on the pole position. Matt Haas to his outside. We'll see if Matt Haas will suffer the same fate Schulten did in the first heat and drift to the back, or can he maintain his track position? Green flag is in the air, and we are underway once again here tonight. Top 5 drivers will transfer in of these 11, and we are 3 wide, 2 rows deep back here. Look out! Nathan Ormond, Alexander Rowe, Charles Sanford in a 3 wide formation. Behind them it was Voiles, Daniel Bouchard, and Mike Tellier. Everybody trying to get all sorted out here, taking advantage of the early going to get as many positions as possible. This is 3 wide for the transfer spot of 5th, folks. Matt Haas did hold on to 2nd. McIntyre keeps the lead. Ormond in 3rd. Destin Bolin right now in 4th. And Sanford looks like he's going to slot into the 5th position, right ahead of the 26 of Daniel Voiles. And Voiles with a slip up. Here comes the 24. Whoa! Contact there. Alexander Rowe into the back of Casey Hoyt. That's a bit of irony right there, because you have the 24 of Casey Hoyt, a car that used to be driven by Alexander Rowe back in the day. And you got Alexander Rowe in the 46 driving for Lake Effect Autosport, the team that Casey Hoyt won 3 races and finished runner-up in the championship for last season. Those two made some pretty good contact with each other. Casey Hoyt, surprised there's not any left side damage on that car after he went down into the concrete jersey barrier, but how about this? Charles Sanford trying to work his way further up. He's currently in the 5th position, but he wants a buffer. He's trying for 4th on Destin Bolin. Daniel Voiles, a very interested onlooker in this battle, as he is currently the first driver outside of a transfer position in 6th. Destin seems more than happy to give Charles Sanford that extreme inside line. The reason being, Destin, yeah, he's a little bit slower on the entry to the corner, has a wider arc, but he's able to get back to the throttle and have good momentum on corner exit. You see right there him be able to gap Charles Sanford off of turn 2. Or turn 4. That was turn 4. This racetrack's so small, the only way I'm really able to tell what's 2 and what's 4 is if there's a Geico restart zone just immediately after it. Well, Matt Haas was able to hang on to the second position, so he did not suffer the same fate that Shelton did from the first heat. Nathan Ormond right behind him in the 23. Little slip up there. Seen a lot of drivers with right front brake lock up. The back end wants to snap around. They have to gather it up. Lose a lot of momentum. Right now, your top 5 all pretty well situated. Daniel Voiles about 3 car lengths, maybe 3.5 car lengths behind Charles Sanford. Casey Hoyt has managed to pick up 4 spots since the drop of the green flag, even after the contact between himself and Alexander Rowe. Started shotgun on the field. Right now, Hoyt, Alexander Rowe, part-time driver Mike Tellier in the 43, Keith Batson, and Daniel Bouchard all sit outside of transfer spots. There is Bouchard in the 33 car, winner of the North Wilkesboro special event that eventually locked him into the chartered ride out of Michael Norman Motorsports for the season. I believe this is the only heat race that we have here tonight where it features no former Clash winner. We had Michael Norman back in the first heat, and we'll see Matt McIntyre, Kyle Matthews, Nick Gunther in the upcoming 2 heats. Charles Sanford continuing to try and close in on Dustin Bolin there. Currently holding down the final transfer spot in 5th. Let's take an onboard and listen to what it takes to get around the LA Coliseum. I guarantee you we're probably not going to hear an awful lot of throttle time. Nathan Orman's got himself a fast race car. I was noticing there on the onboard, he was reeling in Matt Haas, but then a slip up into turn 1. He's been able to get up there to Matt Haas a couple of times, just can't do anything with him. And that slip up may drop him back into the clutches of Dustin Bolin in a battle for 3rd. But it's interesting when we were listening to the onboard with Charles Sanford, it takes them a little under 14 seconds to complete a lap here. Let's round it to 14 seconds. Of those 14 seconds, Charles Sanford was on throttle 5 of them. 3 down the back straightaway, 2 seconds down the front straightaway. The rest of the time, out of the throttle, coasting, on the brakes, what have you. But very little throttle time here at the LA Coliseum. Levi McIntyre continues to show the way. We saw Benjamin Miles go coast to coast, leading all 45 laps of his heat. McIntyre looking to do the same. We talked about the fact that based off of, it was a random qualifying draw as to what heat you were put into, and then obviously yesterday's practice qualifying session determined where you started in your respective heats. Well, we mentioned back during the first heat that the winner of the first heat would end up starting on the pole. Subsequently, the winner of this second heat will start on the outside of the front row for the upcoming clash. And in case you didn't see it, let's take you around the turn of what's going to be happening here next on NNSCRA TV. Tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it's the Clash at the Coliseum. We're setting the field right now, about almost halfway through setting the field with our second of 4 clash heats tonight at the LA Coliseum. And then next week, good job on our graphics department, they fixed it. Next week, Saturday, it's all qualifying at the Daytona International Speedway. Lights drivers at 2 p.m. and the Cup drivers for the Great American Race, they queue at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Later on that day, we're going to have the first race of the second season for the Duracell Ultra Light Series drivers at Daytona. And then, of course, the following Sunday is the 8th running of the Duracell Next Gen Cup Series Great American Race, Daytona 500. Well, I said that Nathan Orman's got a fast race car. Scoring agrees with that, as again, really messing up there on that corner, almost up into the wall, and here comes Destin Bolin for third, but Orman has the fastest lap so far in this session as, oh no, Destin Bolin! Caution, I think, is going to wave for this, as he is stuck into the outside wall, and yes, the caution is out for the first time this entire weekend. Destin Bolin over driving 3 and 4. He got the pit wall there, or the wall that covers the entrance or exit where the cars are wheeled in from the street. And Bolin was in a transfer spot. He was in 4th. And just like that, Voiles moves into a transfer spot, and Bolin is pretty much out of the clash. With this being a short track, and not knowing how many laps we're going to have here under pacing, we are going to show you a replay via your NNSCRA split cam of what happened to Destin Bolin there. And that is a tough, tough break. We caught it live. And I don't know if that was necessarily in reaction to what happened to Nathan Orman the couple of corners earlier, or if he saw the opportunity, he closed up after Orman made the mistake and may have jumped the cushion, may have kind of overextended himself. But Destin Bolin, they've taken that car and they have declared him out of the race. So a tough break there for the driver out of Young Motorsports. 3rd full-time season with the organization. And hopefully we get the one to green this time by. It'd be nice if we could actually finish this this heat under green. Let's see what the pace car says, the flagman says. Do we get the lights out? Yes, we do. We're going to go back green flag racing with 3 laps to go here in this heat. And this is going to give a big opportunity for maybe a Casey Hoyt or an Alexander Rowe or a Mike Tellier to be able to snipe away a transfer position. Daniel Voiles is now the transfer driver in 5th place. Look at them all stacking up nose to tail here. McIntyre, the control car, green flag back in the air. Oh, and they're all stacking up. Charles Sanford to the inside of Nathan Ormond. Daniel Voiles running defensively down at the bottom. Ormond starting to slip back a little bit there. 2 to go. McIntyre and Haas firmly in 1st and 2nd. Sanford jumped up to 3rd. Ormond with an overstep there. Voiles will look to his inside. White flag, 1 lap to go. Ormond in 4th, Voiles in 5th. If they hang on, they're transferring in. Looks like they're going to keep the spots. Levi McIntyre is going to win heat race number 2. He'll transfer into the clash along with Matt Haas, Charles Sanford, Nathan Ormond, and Daniel Voiles. just missing out will be Alexander Rowe in the 46, Mike Tellier in the 43, along with Keith Batson, Casey Hoyt, Daniel Bouchard, and of course Destin Bolin, the only driver that did not reach the conclusion. Here's a look at the 5 drivers that will transfer in. McIntyre goes coast to coast. He'll start on the outside of the front row for the Clash later on tonight. Matt Haas started second, finished second. Charles Saver picked up a number of spots, even picked up a spot there from 4th to 3rd in the final stages on that final restart, which means that he would have originally, if he had finished 4th, would have started the race. Oh gosh, trying to do the quick math in my head, it would have been somewhere around, I think like 14th, 13th or 14th, and now he'll end up starting 9th in the Clash later on tonight. I think that's around where it would have been. I don't know. Trying to do the quick math. I think it would have been 13th. He jumped from 13th starting spot up to 9th place starting spot with picking up that 1 position. But we've only now set half of the field for the Clash. We got 2 more heats still yet to go. Let's head to a commercial break and then be back as they'll roll out onto the grid. The drivers ready to take part in heat race number 3. Thank you for tuning in to today's broadcast on NNSCRA TV. If you enjoyed your watching, it would help us out a lot if you'd hit that like button. Also, if you're not already, be sure to subscribe to become a part of the NNSCRA crew today. And if you're on your phone, be sure to click that bell to be notified whenever we have a broadcast here on NNSCRA TV. Once again, we thank you for your support and we hope you continue to enjoy today's broadcast.
Gentlemen, start your engines!
Nice and easy, long day. It's going to be a lot of adjustments. It's going to be a lot of fun, guys. This is a real race here. We're going to have a blast tonight. I can't wait to get out there and get going.
Third heat race of the night, ready to be run. Cody Lamas lines up on the pole position, all Chevy front row with Cole Deaver to his outside. Then some more Chevrolets in row 2, defending former champion Kyle Matthews and Joshua Osborne. Green flag in the air, another 45 laps to be run. Top 5 transfer in, and we're already looking 3 wide, mid-pack once more. That's Nick Gunther, the defending Clash winner, looking 3 wide with Jesse Turner and Joshua Osborne. Gunther looking for more. He might try and get 3rd place from Kyle Matthews there. Matthews gonna hang on to 3rd for the time being. Cars in the wall. Jesse Turner just got up and into Joshua Osborne. Stacked them all up from about 5th place on back. 3 wide again. Reggie Fogelman rubbing doors with Anthony McCrory as we're still 3 wide through 3 and 4. Now 2 rows deep. Poteet, LaPlante, and Fitzwater 3 wide back there. These drivers might want to settle this out because I'm pretty sure this is the battle for 6th. 5th place, the transfer spot, is almost nearly a full straightaway ahead now. And Reggie Fogelman's on the move. Started shotgun on the field and already now up to P6. Making that 3 wide pass complete on Anthony McCrory and Joshua Osborne. But he's got a lot of ground to make up onto the 47 of Jesse Turner, who now is where everybody on back is gunning for. Gunther currently in 4th, Kyle Matthews in 3rd, Cole Deaver holding on to 2nd, and Cody Lamas, the pole sitter, out in front. Nick Gunther and Kyle Matthews right now in 4th and 3rd respectively, the 2 defending winners of this race. Matthews from Season 6, Gunther from Season 7. I mentioned about the fact that from Seasons 1 through 4, the Clash was always run at Daytona, and then Season 6, we ended up going to Bowman Gray, last season to Slinger. So Gunther and Matthews technically are the only 2 Clash winners that have won at short tracks. So you got to think that gives them a little bit of an advantage heading into tonight, if indeed they both will transfer into the Clash, which currently they are in position to do so. Cody Lamas in his third full-time season as an owner-driver, making the jump over to Llama Racing back at the start of Season 6. Really struggled in that inaugural season. Last year wasn't ideal, but it was definitely an improvement statistically. And now looking to maybe have this be the breakout season. The thing that actually worked out really well for Cody Lamas and Llama Racing as well was the fact that Fortnite Squad Racing actually swapped over to Toyotas here for Season 8. So all of their Chevrolet chassis went to Cody Lamas at Llama Racing. And we know that the Fortnite Squad Racing Chevrolets can win. Dylan Poteet was a two-time winner last season. Carson Gum, obviously, a former champion of the series. S3 Motorsports right now has one driver locked into the Clash in Charles Sanford. Shelton missed it in the first heat race, and currently, if things continue to hold, S3 Motorsports will have 75% of its drivers in the Clash. Deaver right now in third, his teammate Matthews right behind him in the fourth position. These are two drivers that really struggled last year. Deaver ended up finishing out the year 39th in overall points. Kyle Matthews 42nd. And as I said, you get bragging rights, you get a checkered flag to open up the season and everything here in the Clash, but it doesn't pay out points. Certainly can help in terms of momentum though. Nick Gunther in the 55. Now an owner-driver in his own right. We saw him as an owner-driver back in Season 5 when he teamed up with Anthony McCurry and Mike Tellier for Gunther Motorsports. Well, Nick Gunther for Fortnite Squad Racing back in Season 6 had the Project Mazda on the team, piloted it to 4 victories that season. Anthony McCurry then jumped on board the Mazda train last year. So half of Fortnite Squad Racing was Chevys, half of them were Mazdas. Then this season, Nick Gunther and Anthony McCurry broke off from Fortnite Squad Racing, formulated the own team of Garage 55, kind of a rebranded Gunther Motorsports. And we'll see what they do in that organization's first full-time season in Duracell Cup Series competition. Anthony and Nick going to be the only two chartered full-time drivers. They're also going to have another non-chartered full-time driver in Autumn Brooks, who we'll see in the upcoming final heat race. She will not be running for points, but trying to get experience in case she gets a full-time cup ride in Season 9. And they also, for the road courses, will field another Mazda to be driven by Ralph Mason, who of course has tie-ins to Anthony McCurry back in the days of the Snickers Cup Series when they both drove Audis for Kyotech Racing. Jesse Turner right now holding down the final transfer spot, and he's got a huge gap back to 6th place Reggie Fogelman. The one thing that Turner does not want to see right now is a yellow flag, because we saw how that bunched the field up there for that shootout at the end of the second heat race. But Jesse Turner, I guess we could kind of call him Mr. Consistent, because he always seems to find his way into the playoffs. Did so last season, finished 5th in overall points, and probably statistically had his best season of his career. He not only had a victory, but he was tied for most top 5s and most top 10s with Rob Evans. 10 top 5s and 14 top 10s. Also finished out the season with the second highest average finishing position in 36 races. Finished second only to Casey Hoyt. Now, Fogelman now full-time with Haas Racing. We saw him make the jump just prior to the playoffs last season over to Haas Racing in the number 80 to get acclimated to the equipment there. Was not able to take his charter with him from Northeast Motorsports, but now trying to kind of whatever notebook, playbook, they were able to put together from the final 11-12 races of Season 7, trying to apply them here. He's got a fast race car. Didn't really show it in the qualifying session yesterday in setting the lineup for this heat race, but we saw all that double wide and 3 wide racing in the early going here in this third heat race, and he jumped from 11th up to 6th. And as I'm looking at lap times here, he is turning lap times a little quicker than Jesse Turner. The question is, does he have enough laps? It's by hundreds that he's closing in, anywhere from 7 to 9 hundredths. But it looks like that gap is visibly closing up. Last time by, Jesse Turner ran a 13.887, 13.957 for Reggie Fogelman, so that time he actually lost some ground. There's Anthony McCurry in the 61, currently not in a transfer spot. His teammate Nick Gunther is. I think the thing that really hurt all these drivers back here was they were 3 wide and kept racing 3 wide for a good portion of the first 5 laps. Lost them a ton of ground to the top 5. Dylan Poteet, who had a career year last year, looks like he's not in line to transfer. Neither did his teammate Carson Gum, so we may end up having none of the Fortnite Squad racing drivers transfer in. Andrew Miller, part-time driver for the team, also did not transfer in the first heat race. Joshua Osborne had a good qualifying effort in 4th, but he drifted all the way back to 9th. He was on the top side of the 3 wide for most of the beginning of this heat. Zachary Fitzwater and Austin LaPlante right now in 10th and 11th. These drivers need a caution if they're going to get back into the hunt here, and LaPlante's actually about to have some company from the race leader, Cody Lamas. Maybe not. It's going to be 5 to go this time by. I don't really know if drivers on the tail end of lead lap and that traffic is going to affect Cody that much. So far, it's been a perfect 100%. If you start on the pole, you're going to lead all the laps and win the heat race. Benjamin Miles did it in Heat 1. Levi McIntyre just did it in Heat 2. And Cody, this time by, is going to be 3 laps away from making it 3 for 3. Nick Gunther has gapped Jesse Turner a little bit there. Reggie Fogelman has not been able to close up on Turner for the final transfer spot, so Turner will be very relieved, I think, when he looks up at the flag stand, sees the white flag in the hand of Barney. And there is the white flag over the hood of the Carvana Chevrolet of Cody Lamas, who is, much like our previous pole sitters from the 2 other heat races we've already run, is going to go pole to win. He'll win heat race number 3. Cole Deaver will transfer in 2nd. Kyle Matthews, Nick Gunther, and Jesse Turner will be the 5 drivers that will transfer into the main event later on this evening. Drivers that will miss out on taking part in the main event of the Clash tonight will include Reggie Fogelman, Anthony McCurry, Dylan Poteet, Zachary Fitzwater, Joshua Osborne, and Austin LaPlante. Those drivers will all now set their sights on Daytona and the 500 next week. All right, 75% of our lineup is completed. Only 5 more transferees remain, and we're going to find out who they are from the upcoming 4th and final Clash Heat here from the LA Coliseum right after this commercial break. Thank you for tuning in to today's broadcast on NNSCRA TV. If you enjoyed your watching, it would help us out a lot if you'd hit that like button. Also, if you're not already, be sure to subscribe to become a part of the NNSCRA crew today. And if you're on your phone, be sure to click that bell to be notified whenever we have a broadcast here on NNSCRA TV. Once again, we thank you for your support, and we hope you continue to enjoy today's broadcast.
Gentlemen, start your engine!
I'm up in the center of 1 and 2 up here, so as you're going down the back stretch into 3, it may appear to me that they're inside, but they may be just shy of that. I'll really try to stay on top of that all night, buddy.
Fourth and final Clash heat ready to be run. Final 5 transferees about to be determined. Final 45 laps about to be put on the board. It's rookie Summer Henson lining up on the point alongside of RJ Bishop, and the green flag is in the air at LA Coliseum. No 3 wide here in the early going in this heat. Double wide all the way from second on back. Henson to the point. Benjamin Snyder going to move into second place. Third place under contest. That's rookie Autumn Brooks to the inside of RJ Bishop. As she completes the pass, that is going to be 2 rookies up inside of the top 3. Matt McIntyre now in a battle with RJ for the 4th spot. Jack Mitchell, high, wide, and handsome, trying to get around Caleb Fogler. That would be for the 6th position, behind the current last transferee driver, Matt McIntyre's 21. Mitchell very wide there through 3 and 4, as now he's under fire from Laura Chung, Connor Breton, Dylan Young back there with Ryan Brommer, both at the very tail end of the group. Battle for the transfer spot is on. Fogler to the inside of Matt McIntyre. McIntyre, the final former Clash winner, trying to make his way into the main event. So far, we are 2 for 3 in former Clash drivers transferring in. Nick Gunther and Kyle Matthews both transferred in the 3rd heat race just moments ago. Michael Norman failed to qualify in, though, in his heat race. And his teammate Matt McIntyre right now on the outside looking in as Fogler currently in that 5th and final transfer spot. Summer Henson right now showing what she can do. Put down the fastest lap in the practice qualifying sessions yesterday to start on the pole for this one. If she is able to succeed in doing what all of the former heat pole sitters have been able to do, which is lead the entirety of their heat and go on to get the checkered flag, she would roll off 4th for the Clash later on this evening. Not that much later, though, as we take a look at what's around the turn, courtesy of NNSCRA Paint Designs. 7 o'clock, we go green here at the LA Coliseum for the 7th ever Clash. I know we're in Season 8, but we didn't actually run a Clash back in Season 5, so this will be the 7th iteration of the Clash. And for the first time, it'll be here at the LA Coliseum. And next week, we kick off Daytona 500 weekend. Lights and Cup drivers will be in town, and both will be qualifying on Saturday. 2 o'clock for the Lights drivers to set their starting lineup, and 4 o'clock for the Cup drivers set their lineup for the Daytona 500. Lights drivers, their first race will be that Saturday evening. Daytona 500 will be the following Sunday. Autumn Brooks, we talked about that she's going to be running full-time here in the Cup Series. Will not be earning points, however, just gaining the experience. She will be running full-time in Lights as well, where she will be competing for the championship in a Mazda for Garage 55. Garage 55 going to have 4-car stable in Lights. Autumn Brooks, Sean Galligan, Ralph Mason will be running full-time, and then there'll be an all-star car where drivers Nick Gunther and Anthony McCurry will alternate in certain races, get a little bit of extra track time. The Duracell Light Series schedule and the Cup Series schedule very similar to each other. All tracks that the Cup drivers are running, the Lights drivers are running pretty much. The only difference is during the weekend of Indianapolis, the Cup drivers will be at the Yard of Bricks. The Lights drivers will actually be at the short track of Lucas Oil. But a lot of drivers, a lot of Cup Series teams have opened up lights teams specifically for a little extra track time for the Cup drivers. Jack Mitchell has done that for Adrenaline Motorsports. RJ Bishop and Dylan Young, they'll alternate back and forth every now and then in a lights car for Bishop Family Racing to get a little extra track time. Reggie Fogelman will be down in the light series for a few races this season as well, alternating in a ride with Sarah Fogelman. So the Cup drivers putting a lot of emphasis on track time here this season with the ability to do so in lights. Obviously, they wouldn't run for lights points. They'd just be there for track experience. Would not affect the championship of those that are full-time and battling in the lights series. Speaking of RJ Bishop, right now holding down the 4th position, right behind Autumn Brooks. Caleb Fogler behind him in the final transfer spot, and he's been able to gap Matt McIntyre ever since he got around the 21. So Matt does not look like he is in good shape to transfer his way into the Clash. Of course, when Matt won this event all the way back in Season 1, we weren't at a little short track inside of a stadium. We were actually at the 2.5 mile super speedway Daytona that we'll be heading to next week. RJ Bishop a little wide there through 3 and 4. Fogler closes up to his back bumper, and if these two could start battling, that could give Matt McIntyre an opportunity here. Got to be impressed with Summer Henson. Had some big shoes to fill with Ryan Butcher not returning to the team here in Season 8. Henson in a very stacked rookie class, along with Eric Monaco and Daniel Bouchard, Eric Sadler. Some good drivers. Going to be duking it out for Rookie of the Year honors this year. And a lot of those drivers that I just mentioned right there, too, we've got some prior history about. I talked about this yesterday. Daniel Bouchard took part in the very first inaugural season of the Hershey's Cup Series here on the channel. Eric Sadler took part in the Skittle Super Speedway Series, and then obviously Eric Monaco comes into this Cup Series season as the defending Light Series champion. So we've seen these drivers in the past in some way, shape, or form. We have never seen Summer Henson behind the wheel of a car under an NNSCRA sanctioned series. And if we kind of take credence of Casey Hoyt last year, who we had no prior experience of, yeah, take notice of the 78, because maybe the ones that you don't know a lot about are the ones that are going to be there to surprise you. Benjamin Snyder, it's going to be interesting to see what this is going to be for him this season. Maybe a bit of a redemption season. Had his rookie campaign back in Season 6, driving for Lake Effect Autosport. Almost picked up a win at Sonoma, but was hit with a restart violation that ultimately had him finish in 5th place. He then went down to the Light Series last season, and he did very, very well. Picked up a victory at Armory Digital Super Speedway. Should have, in my opinion, won the race at Stafford. He had one of the best cars in that race. And now makes the jump back up to the Cup Series. A driver that has some big shoes to fill right there as well. Summer Henson, we mentioned, is filling in now for Ryan Butcher. Well, Benjamin Snyder is replacing Jose Mills, the most winningest driver in the Duracell Cup Series in terms of all-time wins in that Blue Oval Automotive machine. Boa's in good shape here in this clash, too. We saw Chris Dollerton transfer in the first heat race. You got Snyder in 2nd, Fogler in 3rd right here. The only driver looks like that would not take part in the clash later on would be Zachary Fitzwater. He failed to qualify earlier on. Autumn Brooks trying to close in on Benjamin Snyder for that 2nd position. Every position means that you gain here in this heat means you gain 4 positions on the starting lineup in the upcoming clash. Not much difference still between Caleb Fogler and Matt McIntyre. Scoring has McIntyre about 1.5 seconds behind the 28. And very few laps remaining. Very surprised. A lot of big names running at the back that will not transfer in. Jack Mitchell, Ryan Brommer, Dylan Young. Right now, the last three on the running order. Connor Breton, who's turned the fastest lap in this race, is all the way back in 7th. As the white flag is in the air for Summer Henson. And the rookie is going to dominate here, lead all 45 laps, and she will take part in her very first clash at the Coliseum, joined by Benjamin Snyder. Be a first time as well for Autumn Brooks. RJ Bishop and Caleb Fogler will be the transferees that will make their way into the main event here tonight in the upcoming clash. Matt McIntyre will be the first one out, so both of the former Clash winners out of the Michael Norman Motorsports stables will fail to qualify for the main event. Connor Breton, 3-time winner last year, he will fail to qualify. Laura Chung, Jack Mitchell, Ryan Brommer, Dylan Young will all sit on the sidelines and have to observe the clash later on, as we have now officially set our lineup for the upcoming clash at the Coliseum. So nothing really changed in terms of the first two rows. We know that Benjamin Miles is going to line up on the pole. Levi McIntyre will be to his outside. Row 2 will be Cody Lamas with Summer Henson to his outside, the 4 winners of these respective heats. And then, of course, 5th place on back through 20th, going to be in order of the 2nd place, 3rd place, 4th place, and 5th place finishers of each respective qualifying heat that just took place. So that is going to do it here for the qualifying aspect for the clash. We still got the main event to be run. 105 laps, a checkered flag hangs in the balance. Should be a good one. Hope you guys will join us for that. 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time right here tonight on NNSCRA TV. Congratulations to our 4 heat winners. Hope you guys enjoyed this qualifying heat session. If you did, please be sure to give this video a like. It helps us out a lot. Subscribe to become a part of the crew today if you haven't already. Be sure to hit that bell notification for whenever we go live with these races. And until later on this evening, I will see you guys for the clash at the LA Coliseum. You've been watching another broadcast courtesy of NNSCRA TV, offline racing at its best.
The following has been a presentation of NNSCRA TV for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this telecast or any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the consent of the NNSCRA is prohibited. NNSCRA would like to thank all of our loyal fans, and we hope you enjoyed today's broadcast.